Hi everyone, this is Pulak Sparsh, UG Product Head at Career Launcher, Noida Sector 62. So today we have with us Chhavi Singh, All India Rank 140, CLAT 2023. Chhavi is from Kothari International School, Noida. And with an All India rank of 140, it's highly probable that Chhavi is gonna get into Nalsar, Hyderabad, the second best law school, national law school of the country. So we're super proud of you, Chhavi, and a huge congratulations. So how's the feeling, Matlab, when you actually saw the CLAT results and when it came out? How's the feeling like?
First of all, thank you so much for having me, ma'am. It's an honor.
It's our
And
pleasure.
yes, ma'am. So the feeling at first was more surreal than anything because this was very long in the making. And after that sort of disbelief passed, it was more of I think I can't describe that feeling. I am really proud that all the hard work and all the dedication and everything paid off in the end. I think more than anything, I'm just really proud that I could fulfill my dream.
Oh, that's great. Of course, the feeling is something that cannot be explained in words. And rightly said, all your hard work and dedication actually paid off. I mean, and managing it with school and, with so many things on your plate,
Yes,
managing that.
ma'am.
And CLAT is no easy exam. So that's, of course, a very big deal. And of course, we are very, very proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shakti, how has your been how has the journey been so far? I mean, of course, there are ups and downs, and I'm sure, like any other journey, there must be ups and downs in this journey as well. So, how has been your journey so far? And while you were preparing, I'm sure there would have been, strong areas and weak areas. So, any particular area that troubled you? So, how did you manage that? And your strong areas. So, how did you manage that as well? So, probably how did you draw balance
Yes, ma'am.
between? So, to just describe or let everyone know about your preparation strategy and your journey. How has it been like?
Ma'am, well, to start with, I want to say that I prepared for roughly around a year to 11 to 12 months, not longer than that. And it was a journey with a lot of ups and downs. There were times when I was really confident and everything was working out just as I wanted. And it seemed almost like, I could trust myself that it'll work out in the end. But then there were some areas, there were some mock exams, there were some things, some beach which used to make me think. I used to sit there and think, am I doing the right thing? Where is this going? So it has been but overall, I would say it was a very memorable experience, something I will never forget. The first time I was preparing for something this important and at a national level. And I think no matter how many exams you give, a competitive exam is unmatched.
Is altogether different, है ना?
Altogether very different, and it is a lot bigger than what people imagine from afar. But when you're actually in the race, when you're actually preparing for it, you realize how enormous everything is. And it's such a shock sometimes that there's a national level competition and you're not just competing with yourself, you're competing
So
with
many other candidates, like around
yes, ma'am,
60,000
so many
other.
bright students, and you have to make your place in that.
Right.
But overall, it was a very rewarding journey, not just because of the result, but because,
Because
ma'am,
probably a lot of things that you must have learned during the journey, कुछ
yes,
गलतियां
ma'am.
की होंगी, and probably you would have learned from that mistake. So
Yes, ma'am. I think overall it really taught me discipline and sacrifice, and not just it taught me what the real meaning of working hard is. So I think overall that was
great.
really fulfilling for me. As for preparation, I think out of all the sections, there were definitely some strengths I had, and then there were some weaknesses. To start with, I really struggled initially in the first 4 or 5 months with current affairs. and math, because I am not good at
Maths is
math.
everyone's favorite. The master now is something that's not possible.
I
Okay.
am not good at math, and current affairs also. I really struggled with memorizing current affairs and
It's huge.
retaining.
Matlab, there's no defined.
There's no end, and I
Yeah.
really struggled with retaining so much information. Like, where do I start? Where do I end? And all these random names and dates and so many things that happen on a day-to-day basis. It was really hard for me to keep track of everything. Um, so as far as math was concerned, I tried to keep practicing as much as I could. I thought the only thing that can take me through maths is practice. So I picked up sums, and I used to pick up caselets for math, and I used to solve them. I used to see where I'm failing. Mostly I lacked in calculation and speed. So I used to take a lot of time to calculate. I tried to bring that down as much as I could by practicing caselets, by memorizing shortcut methods and stuff like that. Current affairs, on the other hand, I used to research current affairs, and something that really helped me was going topic by topic. So
Mm.
instead of making notes like, okay, I'll make one set of notes for May, I'll make one set of notes for June, just information of stuff that happened in months. Something I did was I made topic by topic notes. Like, this is my notes for G20, this is for UN, these are my notes for example, SCO, these are my notes on military exercises. So I used to keep adding to that.
Right.
And I used to memorize it topic by topic. Whatever new information happened under that headline, I would put it there. So that's how I did. I made a lot of notes for current affairs. I wrote everything down. And in the last month or two, I just revised. Research continued, but I started revising. I used to.
Revision is the key for GK.
Yes, ma'am. That's the only way you can remember so much random information, is if you keep putting it inside your head again and again, again and again. So I used to sit with my current affairs either in the morning or late at night, not in the middle of the day. Either in the morning, because I think that I can retain most information either from early morning or from night. So I used to sit with
Effective
my
thing.
notebook and just leaf through it, just read up on topics.
Mm.
And in the end, but although we had such a unpredictable GK section, that is still,
Always surprises, That's
yes,
something
ma'am.
that, yeah.
But I had this confidence that at least from my side, I did whatever I could. And the
Yeah.
rest is obviously very unpredictable.
Yeah. Something that probably is not in your hand. You really cannot do anything about
You
it.
cannot do anything about it.
Exactly. But something that you can, or probably you can control, is something that you tried doing and you did your best. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's great to hear. That's great to hear. So GK and maths, you said, and GK
Yes, ma'am.
topic wise thing is a good learning, is a good thing for, it's a good takeaway actually.
It made things a lot more convenient for me, because even though people really recommend reading newspapers, and people really recommend compendiums, monthly compendiums of GK to memorize, I could never get into that habit of reading news and just immediately being able to link it inside my head. Ki, acha, this is about this, this is about this can come under this. So I like systematic notes broken down, where everything related to one topic is written together. So I made sure that for me, my notebook of GK was my Bible. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to read
Everything at one
newspapers,
place, one topic,
everything
and
at one place.
everything under the sun about that topic there itself.
Yes, ma'am.
That's also a very good way of probably going about it. And it's a very subjective thing. So
Yes, ma'am. GK is very subjective.
I think identifying what works best for you, or what's going to work best for you, is very important at initial stage, and
Yes,
probably
ma'am.
following that. So probably a student can experiment with, say, 2 to 3 things,
Yes,
sees
ma'am.
what works best
I
for
also tried out the newspaper method and compendiums and making monthly wala system. I also tried it out, but I realized very soon that this is not going to work for me because I'm not able to retain it. That's how I switched to making notes.
Making notes. Right, right. Okay, so Chhavi, like everyone says, mock de diya, but then the next important process is analyzing those mocks. That's very, very important. And individual analysis. And it's also said that if you are, say, investing 2 hours in taking a mock, CLAT mock, ideal mock, 2 hours, you are supposed to invest exactly, कम से कम 2 घंटे तो लगाओ, individual analysis करो कि कहाँ, where you went wrong section wise, and was accuracy an issue or was time management an issue. So what do you think, how much it is important to analyze the mocks individually, and what was your frequency? How frequent did you analyze each mock individually on an elaborate basis after every? So yeah.
So as for mocks, I think mocks are the saving grace. Without mock exams,
You cannot
there is no way, because it's like going into war without any ammunition. Like you don't have anything that's backing you. You don't know your weaknesses. You don't know your strengths. You don't know how well you're going to be able to manage time. And I think for me, giving mocks was a must, non-negotiable thing. We started out with initially 1 mock a week. And then towards the end, I think towards the last 2 months, I added another mock by myself. So I was giving 2 mocks a week. And so every 3 days, 1 mock aise karke I was giving. So analysis of mocks is super important, because there's no point giving a mock if it doesn't teach you.
No point working on quantity if you really cannot work on quality. No?
Yes, ma'am, because the point of giving a mock is actually the teaching that you get from it. What do you get out of it?
Right.
It should show you a mirror towards your preparation. Where do you stand right now? So I think after every mock, I would take a break, not immediate analysis. I think that's really something, again, that people...
really tiring, because ek to 2 घंटे का mock diya, and then immediate analysis probably might not work. So taking a break, of course.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I thought that I would not immediately analyze my mocks, although it's like very difficult, because you're curious, you want to know how you did.
And that's fresh in your mind at that point of time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's there. Yeah.
For me, at least, I can speak for myself. When I used to analyze mocks immediately, it was very draining mentally. And if it didn't go the way that I thought, it was also very demotivating. And I used to think, okay, I've wasted 3-4 hours, that kind of way. So it was very negative. So what I started doing is I would give a mock one day and then I would analyze it the next day.
Okay.
So first, obviously, you check your answers, then you read properly what explanation is given there. If you were confused somewhere, if you if you were incorrect somewhere, then you would read what is the reasoning that is given by the examiners. So how did I think and how is the examiner thinking? So you have to match that. Then for me, I had a time management issue. Initially, I was not able to do the math section. So for the longest time,
also the students face that issue, right?
Yes, ma'am. For the longest time, I wasn't able to do the math section. I only did 4 out of 5 sections because I was exceeding my sectional time limit in every section. So with every section, so it added up and it took away my time to do math. And as it is, I'm very slow with math. So I need 15 minutes to do 15 questions of maths proper. And so because I had the time management thing, I started doing different things. So I would strategize before every mock. Today, this is my strategy. I'm doing legal first, then GK, then English, then logical, then maths. I would see if that worked for me, if that made any difference. If it didn't make any difference, in the next mock, I would experiment. I would change it back again.
Different permutations and combinations.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to see what permutation combination will give me the quickest solution time, like in which order can I solve it?
Perfect balance of both you being accurate and doing it in the well-defined time.
Section, what combination of sections is leaving me time to do maths? That's what I tried to figure out. So I finally settled on doing the paper in order. So I did English, even in the official CLAT exam, I did English, current affairs, legal, logical, and math in the order. And for me, that saved time. I did actually get to
No
do,
flipping in a
get
way.
to go to math.
Mhm.
And I didn't waste any time. Okay, I still have to do this section. I still have to do that section. I was going in order. So whatever I was leaving, it had finished. So for me, that was how I solved my time management problem. But analyzing mocks, I think another thing in analyzing mocks is to check your theory and your basics. So
Right.
if there is a simple question that you are getting wrong, then maybe there is something, some theory, something that is some basic
Probably some
concept
concept that's not brushed
that
up.
you are not understanding properly.
Right.
Maybe there is something that you are confusing. Like for me, my logical section was pretty challenging. Some questions of logical, like inference based questions, I would get strengthening, weakening also sometimes wrong because I concept was not very clear in my head. So
Mhm.
I went back to ma'am, Neha ma'am, and I would go and I would ask her to explain it to me. She explained multiple times, okay, this is main idea, this is central idea, this is strengthening, this is weakening. So I think to realize your weak points, both in a time management efficiency kind of way and also in a basics theory kind of way, mocks are very important. Going through mocks, underlining your problem areas is
And then
must.
working on that, because
And then
eventually all of us
working
here are
on,
looking for improvement.
yes, ma'am.
If that's not the case, there's no point taking, say, n number of mocks and then probably see our graph not increasing, and it
Yes,
further
ma'am.
frustrates us कि यार क्या हो रहा है, इतने mock दे रहे हैं. There are
And
these
also,
things.
I think that it's a myth that with every mock, your score should improve. There are some mocks where the score goes down. There are some mocks when the score goes up. It's fluctuating. It's
That
not
actually
a,
depends on how the mock is also, na, the difficulty
yes,
level might
ma'am.
be also.
Actually, and it depends on a lot of things. Maybe the environment that you gave it in, maybe the temperament, maybe the
Yeah, your
difficulty of the
mindset. आप
paper.
exam देकर आए हो school का, probably not in a good mood. आज एकदम
Yes,
relax हो,
ma'am.
4 दिन से chill हो, so probably that. So yeah, that's very rightly said, Chhavi. I think, and one, I think that's a very important message also that goes out for everyone who probably wants to prepare, is कि you really do not have to be disheartened with the fact कि आपके graphs नहीं बढ़ रहे हैं, which, you
No,
know,
ma'am. That was definitely a thing with me also. My towards the last 2 months, my mock scores actually went down. So like I was expecting ki as CLAT comes closer, the graph will
you know,
increase
it would,
and I
yeah.
will finally reach a peak where I'm like, okay, now I'm confident.
Hmm.
But the opposite happened actually. My mock scores went down. I was getting like 110s May score, and then it came down to like 98, 103, 104. I wasn't able to cross 105 for the last few
What
mocks.
was your lowest and highest? Like lowest ever marks and highest ever?
Lowest ever, I think 80s,
Okay, that's pretty good.
84, 82, 84.
Okay.
And highest it has been 123. So
Oh, that's nice.
that, but again, it was very, 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 very fluctuating.
Yeah, full of, yeah. Okay.
Towards the end, my mock scores went down and I got so disheartened. I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I used to panic so much. I used to worry so much. Every mock I gave, I was afraid that, okay, this time it's going to go even lower, even lower. What am I going to do?
Yeah, that
So I
disturbs
used to,
the mindset, especially
yes,
when
ma'am.
you're expecting the graph and peak to like.
I used to be scared of analyzing my mocks, scoring my mocks. I was like, and I had quite a nice study strategy in place. But then I started questioning it. I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing something wrong. I need to be doing this and I'm doing this. I tried 100 things at the last moment. And that was really disturbing me a lot. And it was disturbing my performance. I think it hampered only, nothing improved because of that. But then I realized that it doesn't really matter because every mock is different. Every time
Mindset,
I give a mock is
temperament, and
different.
everything.
The
Yeah,
real exam is going to be different.
that's
So
very
you
important.
don't have to use mocks as a way to see your projected scores. That, okay, I'm getting 98 in my mocks, so I'm going to get probably like 90 in the actual paper. That's not the use of mocks. If anything, the use is to basically see where you're
You
lacking
with that practice and see how
and
to.
just
Familiarity.
Think of it as practice, just a sample paper, just a practice. It doesn't make or break anything.
Yep. Important, very important point. So well said, Chhavi. Okay. So what do you think? How much or how important is it to attend classes? Not give up on classes, because I saw you attending classes. We conducted those revision classes after our entire syllabus got over, and I saw you coming till the very end, making
Yes,
sure
ma'am.
that you do not actually miss out on any of the revision classes. So what do you think? How important it is to attend all the classes till the end, not miss it? And a very famous question, actually, draw balance between school and your CLAT thing. So yeah, I would like
Yes, ma'am.
to
So as for attending classes, I think it's super duper important to join classes with this mindset that I'm going to go to each and every class. I'm going to sit there and pay attention, and I'm going to bring something out of it. And if I don't understand something, that's going to be my place where I take all my doubts, and it's going to be a second home. So at least in my experience, I think I don't know what I would have done had I not been a regular attendee and had I not come to classes, because not just for the stuff that you're learning, not just for the sheets that you're doing, but it's also more important because when you go there and when you sit there, you interact with teachers, you interact with
other students.
peers,
Yeah.
and it gives you a sense of community. And I think out of that comes a lot of motivation that you would never get if you were giving it alone, or if you were preparing alone, or if you
Because
were...
then in that case, you would be your only competition, not knowing, how
Yes, ma'am.
others are performing, or probably anything that you would want to.
Exactly. Interacting with other people who are in the same boat as you.
Right.
It gives you a lot of company, like you understand that these people understand what I'm going through.
And they are
I
with
can
you in
share
the,
things with them. We are
yeah,
all in the same boat. So you don't feel as lonely in your journey. And second, it also gives you motivation because there are people, there's actual competition. You're not just competing with your last mock
but then
scores,
there are a
but
lot
you
of,
are actually competing with people. You're seeing how everybody's studying, you see the strategies, you see the different kind of um, ways that people are studying, you see the different kind of approaches that they have, you see people who are twice as hardworking as you, and in some way that really really helps, and that's what keeps you going till the very end. You mentioned revision classes, and towards the end, the frequency of classes was such that we were coming almost every day,
yeah.
1 or 2 days chhod ke. And I made it a point to attend classes and go there and be present there, not because I really, really needed revision of theory, not because I really, really needed to go there and practice, but more because I wanted to stay in the mindset of working hard. I wanted to
That
stay
same.
focused, and I didn't want that chain to break because this year, because CLAT was in December, that was around the time of pre-board exams. I had my first set of pre-boards from end of November till first week of December. And that time revision classes were going on. But I used to make it a point, even though I was studying for my pre-boards, I used to make it a point to come and be in the center, talk to faculty, talk to my friends. How are they managing? What are they doing? You get to know so much, and you're able to focus. It doesn't let you forget that there is something bigger that you are preparing for. But Anna, it's very easy to get lost in this pre-board dena hai,
Yeah.
ye karna hai, wo karna hai.
Those are so many things, right?
Yes, ma'am. So it sort of really grounds you. And the question about balancing CBSE and CLAT, I think it's difficult. I definitely think it's not easy. CBSE is demanding, and so is CLAT. And with the new timing that CLAT will be conducted in December, it's a little trickier because you have pre-boards, you have practicals, all of these things are going on. And in the middle of that, you have to prepare for CLAT and give it in mid-December.
Right.
So what I did was it was not like okay, I won't focus on CBSE because CLAT is more important. For me, both things were important.
Right.
I wanted to do CLAT and do well and get into an NLU and make my parents proud. But I also wanted to do well in CBSE because I wanted to leave school with a bang, if I may say that. So I didn't want to leave anything behind. So something I did was I prioritized according to the time. So like initially in the first few months of my preparation, I didn't really pay attention to CBSE too much because I was trying to get my CLAT fundamentals in place. Then 2-3 months, I prioritized CBSE along with CLAT research and everything was going on. But I prioritized CBSE because I wanted to learn my concepts so that I don't have to keep revising CBSE and keep mugging it. I wanted everything to be clear for me from like May, June, July months.
Okay.
So once I thought, okay, CBSE is in place, I will be able to handle it later after CLAT. Last few months, I really prioritized CLAT and I was really studying CBSE. And for me, I was very lucky because my parents were very understanding and very supportive. And they said that if you want to prioritize CLAT right now, we know that you'll put your hard work into CBSE later. So, and my school as well, they were kind enough to exempt me from practicals and project submissions and notebook work. Although I did give all my pre-boards, but I was exempted from like the mundane work of notebook work and all of those things, which are useless at the end of the day, writing question answers. So that's how I was able to manage. Towards the end, I was studying CLAT completely 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And because I knew in my head that once I have the surety that this is going somewhere, I have a university in hand, then I can completely focus on CBSE with no tension. And I can.
What exactly are you doing now?
Yes, ma'am.
All
That's what
chill
I'm
and all
doing now.
stress-free now.
That's what I'm doing now. I think it really just depends on the timing. Sometime you'll have to prioritize CLAT. Sometimes you have to prioritize CBSE.
But I think your approach was very good. So once you joined in, you wanted to set your CLAT concepts right. And
Yes,
that
ma'am.
then, you started prioritizing CLAT. And then, you shifted to CBSE to get their concepts right. And probably at the end, that mindset that I have a college in my hand, you focused more on it because you knew that after CLAT, you're going to get another 3 months of time, which you now, of course,
Yes,
have.
ma'am. And it's ample time to study CBSE if your fundamentals are clear.
Right.
Just revision is left.
Oh, that's great. I think that's a nice approach. And, if somebody actually watching this wants to try it out, it's actually good. So another question for you, Chhavi, is, of course, everyone prepares for exam and everyone prepares for exam in their best way, right? But then these exams are unexpected. You really don't know, what happens on the D-Day. And dealing with that D-Day is very important, the actual mindset, right? So if you talk about CLAT this year, CLAT 2023, GK section was very unexpected. Maths was, it was crazy. So how did you tackle the shocker in CLAT exam? If you talk about GK section or math section, majorly for every student. So how did you deal with that? And how to keep your mindset very strong? No matter how much gyan बातें कर ले हम, उस दिन it's a different game altogether, right? Like you also said while you were answering that mock question कि mocks कभी ये नहीं बताएंगे कि actual exam में क्या हो रहा है, because actual exam can be very different. So how did you deal with the shocker? And just a bit brief on your mindset on, or anyone's mindset that should be there on the D-Day. Yeah.
Ma'am, so first of all, I always knew in my heart, and I always knew somewhere that GK and math is unpredictable. These are not two sections which you can bank on. Like, these are not two sections which are your friends. They can turn on you anytime. You have no way of predicting, okay, GK will come like this and maths will come like this. Every year there's some or the other shocker in these two sections especially. So at the back of my mind, even though I was working really hard to try and minimize my GK shock, but I was mentally prepared to be shocked by GK. I knew that this
GK
can
ditch you,
happen.
maths can ditch you.
And at least in the last few days, I kept convincing myself that don't panic when you see GK, because GK is not your friend. So, so that was when I did actually see the GK and I did not know anything. I was completely thrown, but for a very short amount of time, because I had expected it. I knew that this is going to go like this. In the worst case scenario, this will be how it is. And maths as well. Maths was very tough. And we had expected, okay, easy to moderate level caselets, but
It turned
that
out.
was completely unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the mindset is concerned, I once I saw that GK and math, I am not this is not going to help me at all. In my head, I thought that, which means 50 marks is dicey, 35 plus 15 is dicey now. I may or may not get it. So I have to make that 100 marks that is remaining, I have to make that count. I have to make sure that 100% effort I put, at least I get 90, or at least I get, okay, 85 to 90 out of those 100 questions.
Right.
So I did not spend any time trying to, I don't know if this is correct advice or not, but I did not spend any time, once I saw the questions, I did not spend any time trying to go through calculations of maths. I knew this is not my ball game. If anything, my time is only going to get lost in here, sucked in here. So I left maths. GK mein, I did whatever I could. Whatever I had an inkling about, I went with my gut. And I marked it. And then I started with English, legal, and logical. And I was like, this is make or break. So something that is, I would like to say, is that once you've seen, first, when you get the paper, take a look at the paper, take a look at GK, take a look at maths, whichever your, yes, just skim through the paper, get an idea of it. Yes, it takes a minute, but it really helps you to be mentally
in planning the next 2 hours.
Exactly. It really helps you in planning, and it really helps you to avoid any kind of breakdowns or any kind of shockers that, okay, I am in the middle of the paper.
Midway.
And yes, exactly. So I looked through the paper and I realized that, okay, GK and math I cannot do. Now the remaining sections, replan. Keep a backup plan in mind that, okay, if English is not good, then this is what I'll do. If GK and maths are not good, this is how I'll approach the paper.
Right.
So instead of, actually, you do not get time to panic and be in your
prepared
head
mentally at the very beginning, at the start.
And you, while you're giving the paper, the time is running out. The more time you spend being panicky, and the more time you spend trying to see how you can get through the difficult sections, that's time you could use in the sections that are your strengths,
strong areas, right?
So you should just replan right there. And then I approached English, legal, and logical very aggressively. I was like, I have to get this right. So I was reading every single word very carefully, because I knew I have time now. I don't have to do GK, I don't have to do maths. So all that time I will put into making sure that other 3 sections don't go
your
wrong.
strong sections are actually in place.
Yeah. Because actually, if you panic there, panic is the worst thing you can do in your paper. Because
of course, फिर वो questions जो आते हैं उनके लिए भी you would not be able to.
You will not be able to answer. And something that I noticed in all the mocks and even in the actual paper was that if there are difficult sections, there are easy sections.
Of course.
It's always a balanced paper. It's never like
all difficult and a student is all.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like they're all 5 easy. Never happens. And it's never like they're all 5 difficult. That also never happens.
Right.
So in every paper, and this, how I realized this was by giving so many mocks, that you always have 2 difficult sections maximum and 3 easy sections. Yeah, fir, okay, maybe 3 difficult sections and 2 easy sections. So there are always going to be easy questions that you can crack if you just remind yourself not to panic.
I think that's very important.
Even in our paper, I found that once I got over the initial shock of GK and math, English was not difficult. Legal was it was tricky, but it was okay. It was doable. And logical was also not very hi-fi, tricky, that's playing games with your mind or anything. It was pretty straightforward.
Manageable.
And so the key was to not get stuck in the loophole of trying to crack GK and math, and instead focus on the easier sections in whatever time you have left.
No, so that's a very important, I think, message for everyone, is to first quickly take a minute or so, skim through the sections, know what your strong areas are, know probably what not so strong areas are, not waste much of your time in not so strong areas, because there's no point. Eventually you'll have time and you'll run out of time, and then probably focus on that. So I think that's a very important message. And keeping your mindset strong can only be ensured if you keep it strong at the very start, and you there.
Yes. You tell yourself that there is going to be a difficult section in this paper. Convince yourself that this paper is difficult, so that it doesn't come as a shock to you in the middle of the paper. That is the worst thing.
That's the worst thing. Because that generally happens. Starting with probably you're expecting ki sab bahut acha jayega or anything like that, and then you come across a section and probably not what you expected, and then that particular section kills your spirit throughout, and then not able to give your best.
And that happens more when people have a set pattern of attempting a paper. They will not skim the paper. They know that I do legal first, then I do logical, then I do English, then I do current, then I do math. Yeah, ऐसे ही कुछ some permutation.
Maybe एक pattern अगर follow करें blindly, बिना
blind following,
ये problem हो सकती है. Okay.
This is a problem because any section can be difficult. It's not just GK and math. Last year math was so easy, and GK was okay, but then there were difficult sections in the reading sections.
Right.
So
every year it can vary, and best advisable thing is to skim, to probably see, what you can start with, what you can leave accordingly.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's a good message, good advice. Okay. So my next question to you, Chhavi, is what was the role of Career Launcher Sector 62 Noida in your journey, and probably, if I may say this, in your entire success story? So what was the role of Career Launcher Sector 62 Noida?
Ma'am, I think that Career Launcher, it has played a huge part in my preparation. From classes to material to mocks, everything led me to where I am actually. And the most important thing, everybody knows that you get material, everybody knows that you get mocks. Those are things that people will always know when they're approaching a coaching institute. But something that was really important for me in my journey is that through Career Launcher, I was able to interact with so many teachers and so many people who guided me. And then they were always available. All the faculty, you, Neha ma'am, Varun sir, were always available for doubts and personal sessions. Wherever I faced a problem, I knew that I could approach you and it would be solved. And it was like a small family, because initially, although we were having sparse classes, but towards the end, we started having classes so frequently. We were seeing each other almost every day, the batch as well. So it was like a small family, a very tight-knit community where everybody was bringing each other up and helping each other. And I think that gives you so much motivation to do well, because you see so many people around you, and it basically, in a nutshell, makes the journey less lonely. Because I think preparing for an exam can be a very lonely thing if you do it alone. There are a lot of times when you need people to tell you that this is how you need to do it.
Okay, and
everything is okay. This is normal. It's okay. Sometimes it's okay to get a bad score in mocks. It's okay. Isme to sabko dikkat aati hai. So that sort of makes you feel less alone.
Okay, matlab everything is good at place.
Exactly. And I think that all the things, all the classes, everything was so fun. I never felt like I was in a formal institution and I couldn't be myself or I couldn't ask questions. So for me, that was really important. That really helped me, because there were times, like everybody else, that I wanted to give up and I was not sure I was doing the right thing. I doubted myself. But all the people that I met at CL, from teachers to my batchmates, my friends, um, everybody was always there for me. And I don't think that without it, I would have pulled through at least the last month or so, because it's right on your head and you get so, um, you're so thrown, you don't know what to do. It's easy to give up and it's easy to get burnt out. But because I had CL in my corner, I was able to get through it and I was able to come out of it. And the material, of course, there's no dearth of material. So I didn't have to look anywhere else. I was always solving funda books and stuff like that, sectional tests. But something that also really helped me was giving mocks at the center and not at home or not online.
Give you an offline feel with like everyone together.
It does, to whatever extent that it can. It stimulates the environment of actual exam. And you actually feel the pressure that, okay, time is running out. Sometimes there's noise, sometimes there's distractions. So which is just like the actual paper. And that really mentally prepares you to tackle the paper in the future.
So that's nice. That's nice to hear. Matlab, people around you motivating you, be it your mentors or your batchmates or friends, is actually very important. And they keep the journey active, vivacious, lively.
Yes, ma'am.
Person not just give up. Okay, so that's really nice of you, and that's really great to hear. So my last question to you, Chhavi, would be your last one message to all the aspirants out there, all the students who'd be appearing for the next year CLAT. So one piece of advice to all the students who are preparing for CLAT, or for that matter of fact, to all the law aspirants, what would that be?
If I had to give one advice, I think I would say that this is a competitive exam, just like any other exam. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work to make it through. There will be sacrifices, there will be obstacles, there will be things that you cannot do that other people are doing. It takes a lot of mental strength to make it through a competitive exam, especially with so many people appearing alongside you. So because of all that, I think those people will make it through, those people will find the journey rewarding, who are really passionate and really ambitious about this from the bottom of their hearts.
Right.
People who have made it through from our batch and all the friends I have are the people who are completely if for the lack of a better word, they are completely engrossed in their journeys and they want to so badly reach an NLU, become lawyers. That is their passion. That is day in and day out the only thing that they think about. Myself included, I've wanted to be a lawyer for 6-7 years now. So this is very long in the making.
In your 5th grade.
Yes, ma'am, 5th, 6th year around, I decided.
And what inspired you to, if that things come up, let me ask you that.
Well, it was a lot of things, but I think I've always seen law. It's an unpopular opinion, but I've always seen law as a very, as a profession that is incredibly misunderstood. And it is an incredibly important thing to do where you are representing somebody in a matter that is so important to them. You can be life changing for somebody. Right. Things like a person's things that have actually happened to people, you get to be the medium to justice. And I think there is no bigger role than that. There is no bigger role than being a medium for people to get justice, people to get what they deserve. And it is a very small way of making change and making this world a better place.
That's
And because of that, I was always fascinated by
you
law
portrayed it very
and the
beautifully.
profession.
While I think this is one of the most beautiful answers I have come across.
The profession, I've always been enamored by it, and by the grace of God, I'm good at English, and I have good communication skills, and I've been on stage since I was very young, hosting and acting, and I have that dramatic flair. So I thought that this is the best
Your
combination.
personality traits could
This
must have
is the
been a
best
very important
combination.
motivating factor for you to like one
Yes,
of the reasons for
when
you
I
to
was younger, a lot of people told me that you should become a lawyer because nobody can win from you.
Oh, nice.
That somehow it became a set
That was
thought in
there
my
in
head
your mind, and
that
yeah,
this is my purpose. This is what I am for. And from then, it has been a journey of preparing myself first mentally, then of course CLAT preparation. So the point I'm trying to make is that first, if you are an aspirant and if you are planning on giving CLAT or any law entrance for that matter, just close your eyes and question yourself that is this something you really want to be doing? Is this your passion? Are you willing to sacrifice for this? Because it really requires sacrifice and discipline and dedication to the very last day. And if yes, then don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let people discourage you. Don't let anything come in your way, because all the people who want it, they will get it either now, later, sometime in their life.
eventually,
So just keep working hard and
very strong-headed, right?
be yes, ma'am. So keep working hard. Don't give up. Don't let a bad mock discourage you. Don't
Mhm.
let anybody tell you that this is not for you. You're not meant for this. Um, just keep trying, and I'm sure things will work out some time or the other.
So just be strong-headed. Don't give up. Don't let anyone come in between you and your journey, your beautiful journey
Yes,
towards
ma'am.
what you actually want. So that's very beautifully put. So, I mean, I had a lot of fun interacting with you, Chubby. It was pleasure.
Same, ma'am. Likewise.
And of course, we're super proud of you, seeing
Thank you,
you grow
ma'am.
through the entire journey. And, and now securing a place at one of the best. Of course, we are still awaiting allotment of NLUs, but
Yes, ma'am.
we're very hopeful, and there is a strong presumption you might get Nalsar, Hyderabad. So, of course, we're very happy, very elated. Yes, fingers crossed. And we wish you all the best for your future endeavors. And
Thank you, ma'am.
we always say that CL is a family. I mean, because you mentioned like family ki tarah ho gaya sa, so it's a family that's gonna stay like a family, stay
Yes,
as a
ma'am.
family
Yes.
for the coming years. So, of course, we're there for you in coming years as well. I mean, it's not the end of the journey. So anytime you feel like you
Yes, ma'am.
want
Yes.
any help, guidance, assistance from us, we're of course there. And we would be super proud seeing you becoming and actually fulfilling your dreams.
Thank
Jo
you,
fifth
ma'am.
grade, so you've thought so super proud. And it was great talking, Chavi. So we wish you all
Thank
the
you,
best.
ma'am.
Career Launcher wishes you all the best. And pleasure. See you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Chalo, have a nice day.